interview today. We have Nick and Breanna Caldwell. Thank you so much for joining us today. And this is going to be an inspired conversation in the Vortex because we have full-blown Abraham Abers with us today. So welcome again. Thanks for taking the time. And most of you might not know the faces, but you have seen their videos on YouTube because they own the channel Animated Abraham, which is so inspiring, entertaining. And yeah, tell us about your channel, how all that got started, and how you got introduced to Abraham Hicks.
Sure. Yeah. So, hi. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for being here. We're really excited to have you.
Yeah, and actually, we wanted to just thank you anyway because, shoot, like 2 months ago, I think we reached out to you in email. We were chatting and stuff, and you helped us so much, like getting the channel back, and it was such a big deal. All your help. So, just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you. We inspired each other with information that we had, and just to clarify what we're talking about for everyone else. So within the Abraham Hicks community and the people that own channels that post Abraham Hicks audios and content, there is someone that keeps attacking other channels and claiming or making copyright claims, which in turn triggers a whole automated system within YouTube that gives us creators so-called copyright strikes. And when you have 3 strikes, your channel gets shut down, and you can't access it anymore. Now the thing is, Abraham Hicks Publications, the company behind Esther and Esther herself, they all give us permission to use 15-minute clips. So we're doing this following their guidelines. The people that are making those false claims are not associated with Abraham Hicks, and that's what Nick has been talking about. They frequently attack YouTube channels that have Abraham Hicks content on there. We assume that it's because they want to get rid of so-called competition. But yeah, so we've been helping each other how to communicate with YouTube, how to get the strikes removed. And we might just dive into that conversation a little later on because I would like to look at it from different perspectives. But for right now, I remember Nick Caldwell, the channel on YouTube, and then it switched over to Animated Abraham. And yeah, so what was your journey with Abraham Hicks? How did you get introduced? And yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So actually, the first person you interviewed, Nick Bro, he's the one that introduced me to Abraham. I get my timeline wrong, but it might have been 2014, right? And I had been studying, I guess, law of attraction to some degree, but it was in the form of go to bed listening to this audio and you're going to wake up rich or whatever it was. And then that led to Bob Proctor, which led me to knowing it was called law of attraction. And then I had looked around on some Reddit forums and Nick was actually posting, and I joined his group, and actually he coached me. I signed up for his, I think it was a 6-month course, right? I was talking to, I was just talking to him yesterday even. So yeah, we talked. So yeah, he does a system where it's like a group chat, and in the group chat, all the other people were talking about Abraham and all this stuff. And so I'll check that out. And yeah, it changed my life. I mean,
it's been his life ever since, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's great. And I got introduced to it through Nick.
Yeah.
Which I love that because my wife and I are, we're the same. Whenever one of us, is drawn to a certain topic, to, expanding their minds and learning, it usually pretty much, it's contagious within our marriage. We're both dive into that stuff and we love it. And learning all of that together and evolving together, I think is such a beautiful thing for, a relationship and a marriage. So I applaud you guys for doing it together because it's so satisfying too, because you have all these synchronistic moments. You mentioned Nick Bro, which is, I want to just dive into the synchronicity moment here because so Nick Caldwell here and I, we wrote emails back and forth 2 months ago before I even ever heard about Nick Bro. And so Nick and Christine and I, we got connected for Instagram, and then Nick jumped on our channel a couple of times. And then Nick Caldwell reached out and said, well, what are you guys planning? You want to do more interviews? And he said, yes, it's exactly what we want to do. So there's so much synchronicity here. And so you're a Nick, he's a Nick, you know, I'll just leave it to the universe and say, yeah, it's perfect synchronicity.
Yeah, you have no idea. He was talking to me yesterday. He was planning out all sorts of stuff with the three of us, or the four. He's like, he's on it. So don't you worry.
A quick email earlier. Yeah, I love that. I love, you know, when there's momentum, go jump on it and ride the train, right?
We're all trying to get to higher and higher levels. Let's all get there together, you know? And that's the way, that's the love. That's why I love the ABE community. It's, you know, even if it was competition before, you know, you've got to channel this person, everyone, we're just doing it to share the message and grow, and we all get to grow together. No one gets more or less. It's just great. It just all keeps going higher and higher and higher, especially with YouTube, where it's a platform of just constant growth. It's just everything about law of attraction and all that synchronicity. It's so good. So good.
I agree. And you just mentioned it. There is, I mean, from my perspective, there's absolutely no competition. I just know that even if you look at the same message, it's been repackaged over the centuries. So you can hear about the law of attraction in the Bible. You can hear in different religions about it. You will hear from different authors over the centuries about it. Now we're in the video technology age. And so you have different teachers that package it differently. And I don't even mean that in a marketing sense. But for example, you guys have the channel with the animated Abraham, which gives you the visual. And, you know, for people that are connected that way, that's perfect. Because they look at the screen, and it's entertaining, it's inspiring, I mean, and it's really, really well done, which is important too. But so there are people that are visual, and for them that's highly important. And then there are people that just want to close their eyes and maybe have a little bit of background music. So I think first of all, there's room for everyone, and second of all, it only helps spreading the message and introducing people to a different way of living that's so much more natural and in sync with the universal laws.
And have you talked to the people at Abraham Hicks Publications at all? Did you email them at all?
Yes, I did.
They're always like so loving. They want us to do this.
Exactly, and you know, it makes sense from every perspective that you look at it. Especially, you know, when you remove this energy of lack that obviously they're not in, and we don't want to be in anyway. So, but what do you think? And that's really, maybe that's a great question, because I see something is here. People get introduced to the law of attraction, maybe through The Secret, maybe through Bob Proctor or other teachers, and then they find Abraham. And Abraham is like, it appears that Abraham is a constant companion in people's lives. Now, they switch between the other teachers back and forth, but people tell me once they find Abraham, they keep listening. They keep going back to that message. Why do you think that is? And what's it for you guys?
Go ahead.
Oh, you know, I'm pretty much just a neighbor. I haven't really explored elsewhere. I mean,
we're both Christians. So, I mean, there's the message there.
Sure. But and I've always felt
it ties in.
Yeah, it very much ties in. Like you said, biblical. I mean, very, very biblical. And yeah, I've always felt connection to my God. And so to me, it's God. I mean, I don't have a question about that. I mean, so that's just it.
But then the way it comes through too, right? It's funny.
Yeah, it's so relatable.
It's always a good story.
So loving.
And that's kind of the way I treat my animations, is that I want to laugh when I make it. Like there has to be a moment where I'm like, I'll go to her and I'll be like, is this too far? Like I'm dying laughing here.
He's cracking up and I'm like, oh geez, here we go. It's gonna be wild. No, it's always good. There's only been a couple times.
There's been a few where they've been on the cutting room floor. There was one, this lady and she started out her conversation where she goes, so like 3 weeks ago I hit a kid, and it was like, and then she goes into this other story, and I'm like, I animated not her. not her running over a kid, but a kid was on a bike and the lady comes over and knocks the kid off. And I don't know. It was too funny for me, but it didn't make it.
That one didn't make it.
So who's the ultimate censor here? Who says yes or no?
Oh,
yeah.
No. Let's get this straight. This guy is the one that is the creator. I mean, I'm just his #1 fan, and I help with the social aspect. But no, I don't do the animations. I mean, I've come up with a couple ideas in a video, but no.
But are you the one who says eventually yes or no, too far, Nick?
No.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean,
she's always the first one to see it.
Yeah.
And if it's not good enough, then I make it better. If it's usually the too far things, I'll show her in the moment, or she'll hear me laughing in the next room. But yeah, she's the one that centers it all, I think. Yeah. And then yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, so how it works is like I'll create the animations, and then she does all the social media. Because what happened, especially early on, people loved them, and they're commenting, and I want to comment back to them, and then all of a sudden nothing gets done for a week. You know,
he just hyper focuses so hard on what exactly he's doing, and so he gives 100% to everything. So there could be a comment, and then he's having a full-blown conversation, and he's lost an hour of animation time, because that takes a long, animating takes a lot of time.
Takes a bit of time.
So I've just taken over that part, and I love it. I love talking to people, and I can dive in too.
Yeah.
But like let the one that can't multitask do one thing at a time.
Well, I'm an artist and songwriter, and that's what I do. That's what I love, and I can totally relate to that, and over the years, there have been periods where multitasking came in handy, but I'm never quite 100% certain that when I multitask, I can give my pure attention to the moment. So there's a little bit of split energy here on the topic, but I think you guys got it figured out pretty well, because you focus on this and Breanna focuses on the other side, which is awesome.
Yeah, and the people appreciate it, because they don't want to make a comment, because they're asking questions, or they're saying thanks for making this, and I don't want to not talk to them. I want to talk to them. We have to talk to them. So.
And we feel very connected. Everything I
perfect.
say to people, he agrees with,
yeah.
and vice versa. We're just like one person. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm sure you can relate with your wife.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love how you look at that. It's beautiful. I heard, I don't know who told me, it might have been you, but I know that the Abraham people themselves reacted to your channel, right?
Well, what happened is the first time it got shut down, all the fans, everyone wrote them.
Like they said, can you bring animated Abraham back?
And to give you an idea of the timeline, so it got removed on a Saturday. They were, who knows, Seattle or wherever they were. They don't open their office until Tuesday. And I planned calling right away, first thing. Well, in the meantime, those 2 or 3 days, everyone bombards their email saying, bring back animated Abraham, bring back animated Abraham. There's no reason for this to be gone. Because initially we thought it was I messed up.
Yeah, we thought.
It's too much like her likeness or something.
Yeah, maybe there's something that we can't animate. So, we have to get permission or something,
It was none of that. And when I called them, they're like, yeah, we've got a lot of emails that we, saying, we want you back. And it wasn't us. They were like, well, it's not us that took you down. So
didn't you say they loved it too?
Yeah, I mean, they loved it.
Oh, you can brag a little. That's fine.
I don't know. Is that right? I don't know. I've never talked to any of them in person. Maybe they were just boosting my ego.
Yeah, we weren't talking to Esther.
See, that's the thing. How great would it be if she saw that? That would be great. That's what I want.
Well, here's my uneducated guess is that she has seen them, because it's something that hasn't been done before. Oh. It's entertaining, and she appears to have a great sense of humor. So I'm pretty sure she's seen them.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that, who knows, maybe her grandchildren get a kick out of it. And Another thing is that I think the animated Abraham introduces the message to, because of the visuals, because of the fun factor, it introduces the message to a whole new audience that might not have been inclined to listen to Abraham, and even to younger, even to teenagers or children, which I think is awesome. So I think you guys are totally on the right train with this.
Yeah, and it grows that. I mean, I know you get to see your audience insights on your YouTube, and you see the demo, and it's older women. It's on my case, it's usually 85 to 90% women.
Yeah.
And it's 35 to 55, and that's the bulk of it. With this, it spreads it out just a little farther.
We hear about parents will comment and be like, just today someone was like, my 11-year-old, this is her new favorite thing to watch.
Cool.
And
but even just to get
I get to talk
amazing.
Even just to get 25 to 35, like, think of how big that would be. That would just, I mean, and they watch it. They watch the animated ones, and yeah, I would love to. I would love more of a relationship with them, with Abraham Hicks Publications. I'd love to dive into that somehow. I'm sure it will happen one day, but I think it's important to see that it really does, like you said, it grows that audience and brings in a whole fresh batch of young people that are looking for guidance. And why shouldn't they get it?
We're always looking for ways to introduce a message that we feel strongly about to new people, right? When we feel strongly about something, we tell everyone about it. Word of mouth is the best marketing strategy, and you can only do that with authenticity when you're excited about something. So, and it shows in your videos, which I think is really cool. So this is a quick infomercial, everyone. Go check out Animated Abraham
my gosh.
on YouTube.
You say that because I was just about to comment about how much I want your shirts, or are they yours, or are you making them, or
this is Christine's. This is my wife's department, because she's super creative as well, and she creates all the shirts. They're on Teespring, the inspired merch. I would love to hear some success stories of your own. Where did you have some aha moments where you went, oh wow, this is happening, this is unfolding, this is a aligned synchronicity moment?
I think for me, the biggest one was the creation of this channel, animated channel, because I had a channel, an Abe channel back in the day, and I wanted to get back into YouTube. I felt a passion towards that, but I didn't really want to be on camera. Like, I got really, really jittery, and it's not fun. Mm-hmm. And there just felt too much resistance there. And anyway, I was meditating, and the thought of animating or even doing a whiteboard video came to mind. And then did some digging, looked around. I'm like, I'm going to do this on animated. I'm going to make Animated Abraham. Like, even the name, everything popped, everything came to me like effortless. And you could see quickly that it was going to take some time. Each video was going to take a while. And it takes a little while to make for me, because I like things in a certain spot and I want everything perfect. But it was worth it. And it was just there was a drive. And even when any negative thing comes up, it's like, I want to keep doing this. I don't want to shift paths.
Yeah,
I just want to keep doing it.
Yeah, we've been together a while, and 11 or 12 years, and this truly is the first thing that he's really stuck with and been so passionate. I mean, he, like I said earlier when we were talking, he's so passionate about everything he does, and he has to feel 100% great about it, or it's cut off from his life, basically. And this is really the first thing he's really stuck with, despite all the contrast, and despite really
even
anything.
With it,
And that's crazy to me. I mean, I've never seen him like that. I'm like, okay, every time something comes up, we're like, is this a sign? And it's always no. It's always like so much passion to keep going, and
it's too much fun.
Yeah, it's so fun, and
people love it. People want it.
When you go back and look at things even before you were introduced to the law of attraction, like maybe you guys even meeting, do you feel, can you tell the law in action and how it has affected your lives when you look back at important events?
I feel like I mean, it's going to sound like a cliche answer, but my career, like I feel like I tell people and I joke about it that it's been who I am since I was a little girl. So I'm a massage therapist, and
my wife would love to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone would. But no, it's just like, I mean, everything with that, like to have your total passion. That's why I'm all for him doing whatever makes him happy, because I feel like I've had that my whole entire life. So I can't even fathom people not experiencing that. And so there wasn't really like a moment, I guess right now maybe, like, but just always feeling that connection with a passion and a career, and it unfolding into being something that it truly can work in all aspects of my life. And so.
But as far as us meeting, we met on MySpace.
Wow.
Does that count? I mean, to some degree, there's a law there.
I didn't know he was asking about how we met.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Well, okay, but he was saying some of the even in relationship. She hated me.
Oh, it's kind of a long story, but
You hated me.
Well, he was talking to one of my good friends. And
you're going this far deep into it.
Well, I had to call him out a little bit. That was when I was very much younger, and
I wanted to date her friend.
And she had a boyfriend, so I kind of.
Oh, that was right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I was telling him to back off a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's probably good to back off of that.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was young.
Yeah, but I don't even know. We just kept. Oh, and then I apologized for being mean the next day, and then we kept talking online, like AIM. AIM.
You're old.
Yeah, people might not even know what that is.
No one knows what that is.
For like 7 months or something before we just became really good friends online and talked on the phone. And
but as far as like this had to happen for this to happen, I can't think of a time in my life where I am, it's because of all that stuff happened. Where I am now is because of all that experience and all, heartbreak and otherwise I'd be married to a high school girlfriend and managing a gas station. Like, what would I be doing? If there was never any contrast in life
right.
And to push through that and have that desire to push through that. And yeah, I think that's a big part of the law of attraction is knowing, okay, the contrast you could dip back, but it's just moving you in another way. It's propelling you another way.
Do you feel like because you're so close to the teachings and because you're when you're creating your videos and then editing, posting, all of that stuff, there's so much repetition of the message. Do you think that because you're so close that you deal with contrast easier, or do you see can you sit back faster and go, yeah, I understand the contrast, I'm doing this now, I'm applying this now? Do you feel that you have those tools at hand more frequently because you're so close to the teachings?
I don't think so. I have to constantly be retaught. I might have an infantile brain or something, because every time I'll get excited, I'll hear a new one and I'm like, I gotta animate this. And there was a reason, because now I'm hearing the same message I heard 60 times before, but it was necessary in this moment. And I needed it now, and I needed that little refresher. When I actually animate, it's that all just flows. That all just comes through. I don't get in the way of that. I definitely don't force anything in that moment. But as far as like, if I separate and think of life, I need little reminders all the time. Like I hire coaches. I've got 2 coaches that work with me all the time. I constantly need, I need that repetition. Yeah. What about you? I mean, you're quick though. You know it, and you're good.
Yeah, I feel like it's for me. It's so relatable to the God, my God, and that's just been instilled in me since I was a child. Like feeling like you have a true relationship with yourself and a higher power, and just truly knowing that everything will be okay. I mean, that's the basis of everything and how I've ever gotten through anything. Like just a true feeling and knowing of that and never wavering from that. Like
you use the word knowing, and that's, you know, most people use believing, and you use the word knowing, and that it's such a different energy around that word, which I really love. So if I'm seeing this right, you're saying you've been taught this from early on to have you, so you've always had that connection.
Especially early, like young, I was into self-help books.
17.
Yeah, and that I felt like has that same message. So if it's in that package, I feel like I've been learning this all my life. But all this other stuff it's fresh. I mean, it was after our son was born, so just in the last 7 years, really diving into law of attraction. But yeah, I would think that if one of the two of us were going to teach something, I would want you to teach, because I think you have an understanding. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, that sounds great. I want to do that. You know, I need that constant reminder. Even yesterday you did that.
What?
Oh, or 2 days ago you said, all right, you need to chill. We need to.
Oh yeah.
You're in a bad vibration here.
And he was like, I am. I feel great. No. Fix this. Something's not.
Well, we're doing the same thing, Christina and I. We're the beauty. I mean, that's the beauty of having. And I know it shouldn't be that way, because, you know, relying on someone else to help you raise your vibration. But sometimes it's just a word. Sometimes it's just a look. Sometimes it's just one sentence that does the trick. And we're enjoying that. You know, we're enjoying having that connection. And because it's so the energy, sometimes there's such a thin line between going in the vibe that is slowly going, you know, in a direction doesn't feel good, versus on the other side of the line being in a vibration that is slowly, you know, rising and going to a higher level. That's really, and now, you know, I feel like when you first get introduced to the message, you try to balance out your life. You try to get really balanced. And then I feel is, how much excitement can I reach for? How excited can I get? And how excited can I stay, you know? And you said it before, God is in everything and in everyone. And I think, or source, or the universe, how you call it, up to you. But it is everywhere and in everyone. And the more I think we remind ourselves of that, the less we have to judge the moment and say, oh, this is wrong, this is bad, this shouldn't happen.
Well, so do you do that every day? Do you take like an inventory of how you're feeling in that moment, or how do you do it?
Well, what I do more and more is what Abraham calls segment intending.
Okay.
Just looking at, you know, I will look at my whole day, but not as much as I used to anymore. Okay. I go, okay, what is the next step? How does it feel? What do I want it to feel? And I will start my day. I start my day with a meditation. I usually get up between 4 and 5, and I meditate for about an hour. And this is to set the vibration. And this is my deepest connection with Source, with God, to set the vibration. And then it's about also observing myself and seeing, okay, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And how does it affect my vibration, right? Because, I mean, like you said, when you create a video, you're in front of a screen for a long time, and then there's social media and everything that comes with that. And sometimes there's this mindless activity, you know, that we're all sometimes either scrolling down a feed or whatnot, that slowly lowers the vibration. And sometimes when you notice it, you're already on that downward spiral. So that's why I think checking in more often, just taking a breather, closing your eyes. How do I feel? Is this what I want to feel? Is this how I want to feel? You know. But I wanted to ask you guys, were you where's your journey going? What are desires that you're holding, that you're manifesting, things that are, where's your channel going? What's next for you guys?
The channel is going nowhere but up. So
it's fun. It's just fun right now.
I want, yeah. I mean, I want as many people to see it as possible. Like you said, with the visualization, like the visual learning, I think it's a big deal, and I certainly grasp to it. Like I like seeing, even if it's something as simple as she's pointing out this word, this word, this word. Yeah. It helps just that little note in my brain, and so I feel like that's important for me to share it with as many people as I can, to get as many people to see it. Outside of that, I think that it's just a matter of, like, I would love to work with that, that would be a dream one day. But just sharing it is pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And I like the community, and I mean, everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
It sounds like you're in a perfect aligned state, exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'll make a video. I'll spend 4 days making a video, and then I'll post one quote, and the quote will do 10 times more views. People love the quotes on Facebook.
I love the quotes.
Yeah, they love it. They love it.
It's just like a quick,
perfect.
Get back.
It's exactly
to
what you want on Facebook. It's exactly what you want on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like over the years we have learned how to use that tool, Facebook and or Instagram, where you go, I can really customize my experience in terms of, I don't have to see anything I don't want to see, and I can really, subscribe to stuff that inspires me. And so this is becoming a beautiful experience. Like you said, you read that quote and it goes right in, and you're, wow, this is it, right?
So what's your goal in all this, or your intention?
So I always knew, I started my music career about 10 years ago, and it was all unfolding pretty fast and beautiful, with getting a record deal. That was back in Austria, and touring and all of that. And I always knew that there was another layer to this experience for me, and my purpose in this life, I feel, is to inspire.
Okay. Through
music, through, I was a public speaker back in Austria as well. I would do that. And it was always about inspiring people. I love to entertain people too. I love the entertainment factor of music. But truly, after a show, if someone comes up to me and says, I feel so inspired, that is my ultimate, excitement that I get out of it. Because, and there's a bigger thought behind it. I feel like we all have not just one purpose, but we all have a purpose, and we have different things that we're really drawn to and good at. And when we do those things, it's kind of like what you two explained earlier, the passion. When we have that passion for what we do, we're living on purpose. And I feel like the more people do that, the more harmony we create on this planet. So if I live on purpose and I inspire others just by living my purpose to find their own purpose and live their own purpose, that's one connection that I've made, and another human being that does that. So that's where I come from. And I feel through all, what you do, what we do, and the whole community and beyond that is exactly about that, about doing what you're feeling aligned with, what you feel inspired to, having fun with, and then you're contributing in such a beautiful way. And you're so valuable to the whole, to the collective. And that's, to me, where thoughts like peace, harmony, for not just a certain country, but for the whole planet, come in. I feel that's my thought on how this path is unfolding.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you said you're a massage therapist, right?
Yes.
So if people in Omaha or around Omaha or other parts of Nebraska are coming through the area, how would they find you?
Oh, gosh.
She's booked. She's been booked for 5 years. It's not even a joke. You're working Saturdays.
Well, I typically tend to do mostly corporate work, which has been amazing. I can just reach so many more people. So at this point, we'll leave it at
Okay.
corporate work. If you're a corporation,
I'm trying to get her to do her own e-course. That's what I want. Do an e-course.
Can I not be on camera and do it?
I could animate you. We sneak ourselves into our animated videos.
A couple times. I'll be like, look, I animated you, and it's like him and I in like a heart and a moon, and I'm like, oh, you just got your points for today.
That's fantastic, guys. So for those of you here listening, because it's all about well-being, we have Nick and Breanna Caldwell with us today from the Animated Abraham channel, and Breanna is a massage therapist for the corporate world, which she said. So you guys get in touch with them, look them up. We'll put all the links in the description. And we love connecting with other Abers and non-Abers. It's an all-inclusive thing, but it's beautiful to see how the message is spreading. It's beautiful to see all the creative ways that come through, like an animation for a channel. And I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time today. And if you had one thought, one message that you wanted to share today, what would that be? I know I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit, but what would you like people to take with them today?
I think they should be like you. I like your spirit. I think I'm going to strive to be like you. And that's genuine too.
Oh my God.
This is what everyone watching should be like you.
Oh my God! Now
I agree for sure.
Yeah, it's great. I feel better.
I want to go on a double date with you when you're
double date. Yeah, let's go. Where are you at? Nashville? You outside of Nashville?
Yeah, but I've call me crazy, but I think ever since I heard Bruce Springsteen's record, I wanted to go to Nebraska. So I'm putting this out there, and maybe we'll come for a concert or whatnot. Or maybe you guys, because if you want to come to a concert, this is a place to be. There's millions of concerts.
We were just talking about we want to go on a vacation, and let's find a concert to go to have an excuse to go.
We've got points. Let's go to Nashville. We can go there.
The double date is on, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to everyone listening, again, check out the Animated Abraham channel. This is awesome. And show it to your kids. They're going to have a blast, and they're going to get the message subconsciously. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys, you have a blessed rest of your day. Love you, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.